All right. Well, what is up, everybody? It's about 3:46. So I missed about 1 minute on the bell, but looking forward to tonight. We got a 3-game WNBA DFS slate. Should be interesting. We got another Chicago slate. So Chicago slates right now just mean a ton of value. Cover person or cover girl on this article is Ruthie Hubbard, who's been absolutely sensational. I think she's going to be the biggest decision point on this entire slate. Are you playing Ruthie or are you going a different direction? She finally got priced up, but I think based on her production, based on her minutes, based on the fact that Chicago just has nowhere else to go down low, I think that she's going to become a player that you have to play. So just a quick reminder, see a lot of people coming in, so that's awesome. I love nothing more than actually talking to people and not just talking to myself. So quick reminder with this chat, I'm going to go over for like the first 5 minutes, just kind of my picks and why. And then just going to open up for Q&A. If you have something I say between you have a question, I'm watching the whole time. So feel free to jump in. But a quick reminder for everybody, like, subscribe, and comment. It really all does help. FSI has been amazing how much we have been growing over the years. And it's all because of you all as our user base. So thank you guys for that. All right. And there is Chris. Where is the hidden Gator gear? There, right? I got a Tebow signed football from back. I got 2 Urban Meyer and 1 Tim Tebow thing back there. So now they should be Jacksonville Jaguar, right? But those are my favorites to go back on. All right, so let's start on DraftKings, where DraftKings once again is softly priced. It's been the thing all year, so you're going to be able to get a lot better, a lot sexier builds on DraftKings than you can do on FanDuel, where you're going to be like, do I really want to play that player? So I want to start at the top. I do think Ruthie Hubbard, I put her on the cover, not only because I think she's the biggest pivot point on this slate, but I think she just might actually be the best price per dollar play on the slate. On DraftKings, she's at 8,800. In the last 2 games, we have 33 and 34 minutes. Yes, Azura Stevens is back, but Azura Stevens might be back for 15 minutes. Maybe she pushes to 20. That's still only 3 bigs, really all that good. Dolson's out playing 3-on-3, and then Candace Parker is out, or just already ruled out about an hour ago before I got on here. And in those 3 games, in the last 2 starts, double-double, both games for Ruthie. The crazy thing with her and why I love her, especially in FanDuel, 7 blocks in 2 games, 2 steals. So we've got 9 peripheral on top of the points, on top of the boards, on top of that she's taking 14 shots a game. And she's under 9K. So, I think if you took away the name, Ruthie Hubbard, you're going to be playing somebody at 8,800 with 33 and 34 minutes, 39.5 and 41.5 DK points, and you're not going to think twice about it. And, oh, by the way, it's a great matchup versus Atlanta. So Ruthie Hubbard, I'm definitely playing both sites. The next one I think might put me in a little bit of a different than maybe the community, but I think Diamond to Shields is another really, really good play. She let me down like the first night that Candace Parker was out. But since then, actually including that, we got 35 and 36 minutes the last 2 games. We have 17 and 11 shots. So back like Hubbard, averaging 14 shots a game. She's 7,900. She's a little more scoring dependent than Hubbard, but she fills a guard slot. She's 7,900 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, let me just pull it up. She is at 5,100, so a steal over there. The cool part about FanDuel, at least right now as I'm pulling it up, no, they fixed it. When I just pulled it up, the game logs were gone. I'm like, ooh, I would really like if FanDuel decided to not show anybody other than people paying attention who's doing what. But 5,100 on FanDuel, again, to get 14 shots a game, to get talent, to get the great matchup versus Atlanta. And again, Chicago is so undermanned. Like, we have no Quigley. We have no Parker. We have no... I'm even missing other players. Let me make sure I get everybody. That's the big thing. I mean, they just don't have anybody. So the Shields and Hubbard, both sites. Here's what we're going to change. On FanDuel, I think you got to play Courtney Vandersloot. So yes, 3 Chicago. She's sub 7K. She's fresh off of a huge game, 52 DK, or 52 FanDuel versus New York. Here's the thing with Vandersloot. She is probably one of the better point guards of all time in the WNBA. Definitely one of the best passers. 16 assists. This game should be up there in scoring. I believe this is the highest total. Yeah, it's the highest total in the slate. 169.5 DK, or 169.5 points. 162 for the other 2 games. So this is over 7.5 points higher than the other 2. So give me Courtney Vandersloot on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I think she might be a little too expensive, but I love Jessica Breland on DraftKings. And her last two now, 38.5 and 44 DK, and her 2 games as a starter. She gets a pretty soft matchup versus Washington, who, while I say it's soft, maybe it's getting a little better, right? Hines Allen, we saw get back last game, should play a little bit more here. Tina Charles obviously is a stud. But other than those two, like Washington's interior is just once again soft. So I've always liked Jessica Breland, back to Atlanta days. Always like kind of, actually I say back to Atlanta days. Atlanta was last year. Back to Chicago days. I remember her winning me a GPP. I think she scored like 55 in a spot start for Chicago. So, at 7,600, I think she's just too cheap. So just a real quick recap. I will open it up for questions. And if there aren't any, I will open it up to going and doing other stuff. So DraftKings is Jessica Breland. It's Ruthie Hubbard, and it's Diamond DeShields. Fanduel, DeShields, Hubbard, Courtney Vandersloot. That's the picks. Wish you all luck. All right, questions? Anybody have anything you want to ask? This is like when you're running a live, this is like the moment of truth. You're just like, crickets. Am I wasting my time? This is where, Chris, I actually need you to come be like my producer and like put on like music, like the Jeopardy music or something while we wait. I guess while I wait and see, then I'll just throw a few other plays that I'm just kind of looking at. I think Atlanta's backcourt is really, really interesting. I thought as Tiffany Hayes got more and more in the mix that Odyssey Sims minutes would go down. Odyssey Sims is back to okay, I'll get to those in a second. Let me just get the Odyssey Sims thing. Back to her LA days, Odyssey Sims, or actually back to her Dallas days, Odyssey Sims was a really good player. Got the trade to LA, went to the Lynx last year, was still producing. She's played 27 and 26 in 2 of the 3 games. The other one was 17 minutes. She hasn't looked great, but at 4,000 on FanDuel, if you need a value, Odyssey Sims, top scoring game, I can see it. I think it's interesting. So I did kind of answer that. Pro Reactor, what site specific, or do you just kind of went in general? Because I do think that pricing is very different between the sites, where like how far down you have to go. FanDuel, I can see you having to go down in the dumpster, so to speak. Like, so with Sims, DK, not as much. For FanDuel, okay. So I think Sims stands out. And, I already gave you 2 other guards. I think forward value is tough. I'm just going to real quickly just scroll through and see. I think down at the bottom, it's tough. Like unless Connecticut's missing somebody, I don't really want to play. I call her mommy, Mom Premier. Mercedes Russell is actually starting to increase minutes. She's taking him away from Magbegor, so be careful there. Seattle is just front court. It's just like a little dicey to me, especially considering we know in Seattle where all the shots are going to go, right? Brianna Stewart and Jewel Lloyd are going to take a majority of the shots. Candace Dupree is very, very able to shoot. Let's see, is Talbot? All right, so Talbot's a guard on FanDuel. So there's a value for you. You could do Stephanie Talbot, 3,700, but she only played 13 minutes last game. So I don't know. Value's tough. I think maybe the good conversation to have here in the last few minutes is really are you going to jam Brianna Stewart on both sites, right? I think on my gut is on 8,900 on FanDuel. I'm probably not going to jam Brianna Stewart. I think there's too much opportunity cost. I think there is plenty in the mid tier. I'm staring down at a lineup that I don't have anybody over 7,000. It's kind of weird to say, but Ruthie Hubbard is my most expensive player. It's just a lot more balanced. On DraftKings, I was able to fit Stewart, but I kind of like my build more without her. So it's just an interesting thing. She's the best player in the NBA, in my opinion, by far. But, it might be a situation where, look, if she gets 40, you can make 40 up. If she gets 60, close your app. Go to sleep, because you're not going to cash without her. So I think that's kind of my take on Brianna Stewart. See if there's anybody else to mention value-wise on DraftKings. On my little sheet for the subscribers, I do 5,000 and under values for FanDuel, 6,000 and under for DraftKings. I will say one thing. If she's owned at all, it's a terrible play, is Teresa Plaisance. I would just try to stay away from. She only got 6 minutes last game with Hines Allen back. You can't take on that risk. Like, I don't know if Therese Placence is a good enough player that you'd want to take on that risk anyways, but especially fresh off of 6 minutes, I don't think you can do it. See if anybody else down here is interesting. I think Mercedes Russell, again, would be probably the most interesting on both sites. I could see her minutes continue to go up. Talbot, you would expect those minutes to go up, but it just doesn't look like that's the case. They obviously like Katie Lou Samuelson a lot more than Stephanie Talbot. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me just look at Prince. If you just want like a complete YOLO, Epiphany Prince, she only played 9 minutes last game, but back to her Liberty days, like Prince could just ball out. So maybe she gets in like 15, 20 minutes. She's only 3,700 on DK. So what, you get like 15 DK from her at like 2%? I probably don't do it, but that's the way you could fit Stewart pretty easily. And it's to have, 5 other really good players. All right, I'm going to call it. I don't see any other questions. Everybody, good luck. Thank you all once again so much for supporting. See you.